Toastmasters, it is time we have it. My name is Portability Srinivas Chalapati. I will be your Chief Sergeant at Arms to conduct the meeting all throughout. Begin with the mission statement of the district. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Having said the district mission, let me read out some very simple but very easy to follow ground rules. Rule number 1, members present online are expected to keep their microphones on off mode unless and until they are invited by the presiding officer to speak. All other devices which are connected either with your laptops, your mobile phones, or tablets are to be disconnected right away for you to gain a better internet quality and enjoy the meeting in progress. Members present online are expected not to intervene while there is another speaker on the virtual platform. I repeat once again, members online are expected not to intervene when there is a speaker on the virtual platform speaking. Last but not the least, just to gain a better connectivity, we have a tendency of logging into 2 different devices. If any of the member has logged into 2 devices, I would request them to keep one device on mute mode. I repeat, if members have logged into 2 different devices, I request those members to keep one device on mute mode in order to see that there is 0 echo or overlapping of the audio. With this, let's call our first MC. Our MC today for the morning first session is a Toastmaster from Bahrain. He's got a management graduation to his credit, and also he is an IT professional. While he uses his skills to enhance himself and his community, this gentleman is also a noble person. Why I make this mention is because he has come to the service of community at the most difficult times when the world was going through a pandemic situation like COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Taukir, and he will be our MC for the first session. I would want all of you to give a virtual applause to Toastmaster Taukir and invite him onto the virtual platform. It's over to you, Toastmaster Taukir.
If opportunity does not knock, build a door. Milton Bill. Thank you, Chief Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Srinivas Chalapati and Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Jamaluddin Sheikh. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. My name is Toastmaster Tawfiq, and it's my pleasure to welcome everyone on this lovely Friday morning in Bahrain. We appreciate your valuable presence for this apt and very important topics covered in today's session. Let me welcome the most important person, the event chair for today's webinar, a person who always had a dream to be a speaker, standing on the stage, addressing a large audience, rather than being an audience himself. Joined Toastmasters in 2018. Since then, he hasn't looked back, from being club sponsor, mentor, area director, division director, to Club Growth Director. He's been winning lots of accolades, not only in Toastmasters, but also been appreciated at his work and won recently Top Execution Award at Jidex Dubai. Please welcome with a big round of applause, Club Growth Director, DDM Khalid Jalal. Virtual screen is all yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, Toastmaster Tawfiq, for the lovely introduction early morning with a lot of energy. I'm sure you had 2 cups of coffees instead of 1 today. Bring that energy in this meeting. In the absence of our District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Felak Dawala, and a Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, they will be joining us shortly, I'm sure. The special speakers and the guests who we have today, the Club Growth Directors from Region 11, Distinguished Toastmaster Palani Raj, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepa Surendran, Distinguished Toastmaster Sara Ansari, and our colleagues and HR gurus in Toastmaster, they're serving and leading. Distinguished Toastmaster Rekha Utham, Distinguished Toastmaster Lulwa, Toastmaster Floyd Almeida, our Division E Director, who is the person behind this event, Toastmaster Vishal Edward Khan, our Head of Education, the most beautiful lady, as a lawyer I have seen, Toastmaster Mariam Rangat, our other division and area directors and my colleagues, Toastmasters, and all the guests, our special guest, Mr. Madhwan Kalat, he is from Lions Club of Bahrain, and one of the most beautiful and respected dignitary in this meeting, let me call the name Amal Kohaji. Thank you very much for being with us and joining us today. Amal Kohaji is a person who I know for a very long time when I was at BTI, and that's the time she mentored me, she taught me. So thank you very much, and I'm really honored, Madam Amal, for you to be with us today. Today's meeting is special, not because it's a normal Toastmaster meeting, because it is not a normal Toastmaster meeting. It is a special meeting, gathering, and event, because we want to showcase the talent which we have learned in Toastmasters, how it really helped us to grow, and how it can help anyone to grow in their career. The first segment of our meeting will be related to the HR perspective. So we know the information, the leadership from HR perspective, and also we touch base how to develop a kind of a CV which is attractive and actually represent you as an individual when you forward your CV to any organization. We know our Toastmaster colleague in this difficult time have gone through a lot of challenges, and one of them is the loss of jobs. We have a lot of newcomers, graduates from the universities, from different institutions. They want to present themselves in a professional way, and they need some help and guidance, and that's what we're trying to provide from our side. Whatever we can do, we try to share the knowledge and benefit. The second segment is also very special in this turbulence period. As club growth directors, our responsibilities are we need to maintain the existing clubs, the existing members, and grow the clubs and get more members to our clubs. It's not because we are in a race of getting more clubs or more members. It's we want to reach out to those who need help, who need to develop their soft skills. And Toastmaster is a platform which has helped thousands of people in Bahrain and our District 20, which is Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and Egypt. The last 2 countries are recently added. We have more than 2,000 plus members only, and the number is increasing. We have a lot of corporates are coming up and seeking Toastmaster to help them, and they're chartering corporate clubs. And one of the examples is KPMG, who recently chartered the club, and Almoyed Computers, 2 big names in this country. And one of the large pharmaceutical company in Kuwait, they have decided to go with Toastmasters for their employees' benefit. So Toastmasters is a platform which helps everyone. We all who are part of the Toastmasters has developed us, made us the person we are today. Of course, our academic has helped us a lot. If I don't talk about academic, I'm sure Ms. Amal will call me later on and says, why you're not talking about the academic? And I'm really glad to see the way the education is being supported by the governments of our region. I salute our government because they see the value in developing their nations. Without taking long time, because I can see the red card, let me pass the control. Before I pass the control to our MC, let me thank you all for your support and being over here. I'm sure more audience will be joining. It's early morning and they're still busy with the coffee, but we will wait for them as well. Thank you very much, and back to you, MC.
Thank you, Even Chair and CGD, DTM Khalid Jalal. I would now like to welcome the person who's the Toastmaster for 5 years, who relates to the quote, work hard in silence. Let success make the noise. He was the head of IT for DTAC 2019 and is currently serving as Division E Director and Treasurer. He works for Integrated Service Solution as Business Development Manager. Please welcome, with a big round of applause, Division E Director, Toastmaster Vishal Edward Khan. Virtual screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tawfiq, for a wonderful introduction. Dignitaries, leaders of the District 20, Toastmasters and friends. It's a glad welcome we bring to you this morning, filled with desires, hopes, dreams that we all share. Toastmaster is a platform for all of us to nurture our growth in communication and leadership. And today, District 20 has given us this wonderful opportunity to learn how to nurture our growth in our careers as well. So friends, I welcome you all for this wonderful event, which is the result of our dedicated role players and the full team that you can see over here. So welcome all of you. Let's have a great learning experience. Over to you, Master of the ceremony, Toastmaster Tawfiq. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you have told us, and you told us to keep it quiet, but I'll reveal it to everybody. Let's enjoy. So give a big round of applause to everyone who has made this event and hopefully a successful one. Let me now welcome our dynamic leader, who's very ambitious and considerate Toastmaster, joined Toastmasters to ace the art of communication. In turn, found a lot more than she expected. A Toastmaster from 8 years, a physiotherapist by profession who believes in holistic rehabilitation of her patients, a fitness enthusiast, a CrossFitter, and a yoga doer. She has enjoyed every role in Toastmasters and believes that learning never stops. Served at club, area, and division, won many accolades, last one being the best division director in 2017-2018. Her mantra in life is take the best, leave the rest. So put your hands together and welcome Women Power District 20 Director, DDM Alipia Lakrawala. Virtual screen is yours.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our District 20 Program Quality Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, District 20 Club Growth Director, DTM Khalid Jalal, district office members. I see our PRM, DTM Alan Paul, and any other office members in the meeting today. The head behind this marketing event, our Division E Director, soon to be DTM Vishal Edward Khan, area directors, division directors, members of District 20, guests who have joined this meeting from Region 11 and members across the world. A very warm, good morning to all of you. This year, my vision as a district director is for District 20 to have an holistic approach. Not only when it comes to Toastmasters, but to everything or every aspect in life, what we have. This is the same mantra I practice in my professional life, and I am here in Toastmasters with the same. The first conversation which I had with my district PRM long back was that I need to create awareness. We as a team need to create awareness in District 20. And with digital marketing and social media everywhere, District 20 has taken its first step towards creating awareness. And this is the first event where we have come up with an holistic approach, not only for Toastmasters, but for new members who want to join Toastmasters. We have very efficient professionals who are a part of Toastmasters, and they would like to share their insight today that what it is and why Toastmasters is so important for you. I would also like to thank the various club growth directors who have joined today this event or agreed to join this event today as presenters who would like to share their experience in Toastmasters and how they are overcoming their challenges within their district. So the various club growth directors across region level 11, thank you for being a part of this event today. To the members out there, Toastmasters is the right leadership platform. 97 years and it is still counting. So definitely there is something which this organization is doing, which creates more leaders, creates more communicators. And this soft skills, what you acquire with Toastmasters, remain with you lifelong. I wish all the members here a very good luck and looking forward to a educational, learning, motivational, inspirational event. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, DTM Alifia, for your wonderful encouragement. And we are all charged up. A homemaker for 18 years who decided to take up first profession in airline industry, developing business for airlines that Delta, Singapore Airlines, and Ethiopian Airlines. 11 years later, she changed domain to join the Global Financial Services Giant Alliance in their Human Resources Department, which indeed was the beginning of a phenomenally successful and rewarding career for her. Today, works at Asma Capital as a strategic partner. She's highly qualified, having CIPD UK Associate, holds master degree in English literature, as well as applied psychology, and has a higher diploma in counseling from ICM and Oxford College London. A Toastmaster since 2004, has conducted several speechcraft programs in Bahrain for corporate organizations like BAPCO, Zain, and American Mission Hospital. A writer and poet, Rekha, she has scripted, directed, and curated plays in English in Bahrain. Please put a big round of applause and welcome DTM Rekha Houghton. Title, Understand the HR Perspective. DTM Rekha Houghton, the virtual platform is all yours.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, district officials, other fellow Toastmasters, and all the guests who have joined here. A very good morning to all of you. It's indeed an honor and a privilege when people wake up so early on a Friday morning to listen to you and be there on time. It really humbles you and you feel that all that you're doing is worthwhile. My co-panelists will be talking about writing up a CV and how to ace interviews. And I am going to focus on what is the HR perspective in recruitment, selection, and onboarding today. From 2019, the world has been challenged as never before with the pandemic sweeping up globally. So, what have been the challenges in recruitment? Technology has taken over recruitment. Virtual recruitment has become the mainstay of recruitment. It poses a challenge to HR because how do you get a sense of a person? How do you feel that this person will be a fit? And that's one aspect that HR is coming to terms with. There are many other digital means that is being used in recruitment, like chatbot, artificial intelligence to sift through CVs, even a virtual platform to conduct interviews, psychometric tests, and all these kind of things. But who are the people out there who are looking for a job? We have three categories. One is Gen Y, who have already been in a career, but still have found the need to move in order to grow and develop. And unfortunately, many have had to face the situation of losing a job. Gen Z, who's just come out, tech savvy, people who value causes, issues, who are just entering the market. And then the senior level, which needs to transition into a peak career before they move on to retirement. When you look at each of these segments, what is it that HR looks for in recruitment? How does HR look at or arrive at the position or the mental stage that this is the right person for the organization? Those two aspects I'm going to explore here. The two aspects to being fit into an organization or suitable for an organization. The main important thing that HR looks for is communication, and the second is attitude. Now, both of these encompass a whole lot of things in them. When we say communication, what do we mean by communication? Is the person able to articulate what he wants to express? Is the way he is communicating likable? Because one of the main things that we are humans after all, at the end of it, we need to like the person whom we are going to recruit. Likability is a huge factor. How likable are you virtually or offline to another human being? What makes you likable? Very often when we sit for interviews in HR, what we find is that the self-awareness of candidates is what is most lacking. Many a times I have asked this question to candidates, why should we hire you? And there comes the stumbling moment for almost 90% of the candidates. Why should we hire you? That's a direct question as to who are you? I want to know who are you? Will you fit into my organization? And very often, people are not prepared for this question. It is just a question of sitting down and thinking about what are your strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are you capable of? Where do you aim to go? When you come for a job interview, you need to have this perspective right. Is language important? It is important that you are able to communicate well. Recently, we were hiring a CEO for an organization in the subcontinent. And we could see that the person had all the qualifications, had all the necessary expertise and experience, but he was more comfortable in the vernacular than in English. The shareholders were, it's a multinational company, the shareholders were from different parts of the world, and the language that bound them was English. And at that time, everyone said we need to include diversity, and we should be sure that we have to give him a chance. And I told my boss that all that is fine, but when you work with someone on a day-to-day basis, 24/7, if that person is not able to articulate, you will find yourself getting irritated with that person, and that's not fair. That's not fair on his capabilities. That's not fair on his future development. And rightly so, I don't like to say I was right, but rightly so, 6 months later, the chairman of the board called up and said that, can you somehow ensure that we can develop the communication skills? Now, 6 months had gone down. So communication in the language that is expected from you is important. Communicating in a warm, friendly way, being assertive, being able to put your points across is important. To a large extent, when I look at myself, it's Toastmasters who have shaped me as an HR professional, because you really, when you live as HR, you really don't know where the next question is coming from and from whom. Table topics really helps because you are chutzpah and you are ready with an answer. Even if it is to say that right now I'm not aware of it, but I shall come back to you. That requires a certain type of experience of having faced unexpected questions. Your posture while you sit for an interview, your body language, your attitudes come across when you are sitting for an interview. You learn those things consciously, that what is it that you want to project and adjust your body language accordingly. These are things which people are not aware of, and newcomers into the field are completely unaware of these things. But being in a forum like Toastmasters, it helps you form those habits as a second nature. Let me come to attitude. When I say attitude, what does it encompass? Attitude is the whole being of you, who you are, what is your habit, what is your personality like? Are you flexible? Is there an agility in you? Are you able to change according to circumstances? Now, how does HR come across or come to the conclusion that this person has the traits that HR is looking for in the interviews? In the interview questions, each of them designed to bring out your particular characteristics. And that is something DTM Floyd will explain to you as to how to answer those questions. But you must understand that when you are answering a question, it's not just the answer that you're giving. You are also revealing your own personality. And I'll tell you two stories. One is my favorite recruitment story, which is, of course, mine. 5 years ago, I was packing up to retire and go back to India when I got a call from a recruiter saying that there is a particular company which is looking for an HR manager. They have been looking for the past 1.5 years and they still haven't found anyone suitable. They have tried various methods, consulting, outsourcing, but still it hasn't worked out for them. Would you be interested? And I said, no, I'm not interested in changing my job. I'm ending my career. And he said, ma'am, it would be a good idea to meet them. And I said, I'll think about it. And I said, Could you also tell them that I am not young, I'm old, and I don't want to come for an interview to be told that, oh, we were looking for somebody a little bit younger. And he said, I'll make sure of that. I had no intention of attending the interview. I went home and in the family chat, I casually said, hey, you know what? I was kind of headhunted today. And my daughter said, oh my God, what a compliment. Even if you don't want to take up the job, you should attend the interview. I went for the interview expecting a 15-minute conversation, zip in and zip out. And 1 hour later, I walked out with an offer letter. I met with the C-suite and they were able to convince me, and that was their expertise. But my boss later told me that what convinced them that I was the right person was that they had asked me the question that, as an HR professional, what is the most important thing for you? And my reply was, and always is, that as an HR professional, for me, the dignity and respect that I give to every single employee while recruiting, onboarding, and most importantly, when they are exiting, to the last minute that they are my employee, the respect and dignity I give those employees, that is what is most important to me. And he said that that really zapped us. So it is who you are that will take you to the job. And I will just, before I end, I will start, narrate another story that we were recruiting a CEO for a power plant in the subcontinent, in one of the Southeast Asian countries. And there were 3 candidates who were shortlisted. There was one candidate whom we all kind of liked. The likability factor came through because he had empathy, he had leadership, he had a collaborative style which came through. Then in the referrals, we heard that he was sacked from his previous employment because there was some sort of a scam and he was implicated in it. We asked him for the story and he explained the story to us, and we realized that he was part of a scapegoat of a government political manipulation and collaboration. Our chairman said, can you get a reference from your ex-boss? And that man in that interview, and I think that is the bravest moment that I've heard, that he said, no, sir, I will not ask him for a reference now, because that is like putting him under pressure to refer me. You have to choose me for my own standing. If you choose me, I will ensure that I get a reference from him. There was a silence across the panel. And then we realized that here we had a person who had the moral strength to stand up. Of course, we hired him. The previous boss gave such a glowing reference that it still remains one of the most memorable moments for me as an HR person. So when I look at all of you who are looking out for a change, looking out for your first job, looking out for your next change in the job, don't forget, build up the person whom you want to be from today onwards. Be the manager that you want to be from today onwards. Be the person, the leader that you want to be from today onwards, not to wait for the day that you will become one. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Wow, awesome. Well said. Be the leader today, not tomorrow. Today is Friday. It's a holiday. It's your day. Be a leader. And for that lovely speaker note, let us give a warm round of applause and a certificate of appreciation. I'm sure the moderator is ready. Please give a round of applause for DTM Rekha. Thank you very much, and be with us for the Q&A, which will follow. I'm sure the audience have a lot of questions. You can put in chat to DTM Mariam, reading our HOE, the person behind the scene, but we are keeping her busy even during the event. The person I would now like to invite is a training supervisor at Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company. Member of GPIC Toastmasters Club since 1st June 2008. Held various leadership roles as President, Vice President Education, Vice President Membership in the club. Currently, she is the VP Education of GPIC Toastmasters Club. Believes in the power of Toastmasters as it's the ability to change lives. Therefore, she presented various lectures to schools and university students. She's been a participant in numerous Toastmasters events as a speaker, moderator, and a team leader. Please put a big round of applause for DTM Lulwa Al-Muali, titled Learn to Write a Professional CV. DTM Lulwa Al-Muali, the virtual screen is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, once again. It's my privilege to be with you today, this wonderful morning. Today I'll be speaking about writing a professional CV and also a cover letter. And we take the questions, inshallah, by the end of the session. So as I mentioned, the objectives to prepare a cover letter and the tips for professional CV writing. We'll kick off with the cover letter, and it's a document that's sent along our CV. This cover letter will provide information about our background, our experience, and why we are the fit to fill this position, why we must be selected, why we are the best candidate. It will help us to sell the application, which is our CV. So what we write and we don't write in this cover letter. The name and the contact information or the contact details. And in here, I'm talking about the contact details of ourselves as the applicant and also the contact details of the organization we're applying to. And instead of writing the letter to whom it may concern, it's better to do a research and know who are the HR manager, who's working in this HR company, who's working in HR in this company. And we write this, their detail, their name, and address. So this letter will be customized for every company we're applying to. The title of the job, if there is a job application and you know the job applying to, better to write what kind of job applying to, like a stock controller position. List your relevant skills, why you are the right person for this position. And always try as much as you can to speak the language. So if applying to any organization, find out what software they are using, what kind of machinery they are using, and try to write this in the letter. And at the end of it, ask them to contact you, that you want to hear from them about this job and how to follow up your application as well. The thing that you don't write in it is rewriting your CV. The cover letter is not a summary of your CV. It will give them like a slang about who you are exactly and your salary expectation. It will show them that if it's not asked by the company to write how much you want as a salary, better not to mention it because it will show that you are more interested in the benefit the company will provide with you than actually how you're gonna benefit this organization you're applying to. And typo or typing mistakes. So try to avoid them, period. Try just to avoid them. Don't mention your other job application because this cover letter is not a complaint letter. You don't want them to know that you applied in so many organizations and you're still waiting for an answer. And don't copy and paste a template. Make your own cover letter and try to change it for every job application as much as. So what's a CV and why it's important? So a CV is like, I always say that it's you in a piece of paper. How are you going to market yourself? How are you going to talk about yourself? Write this all down on this piece of paper. You're going to sell yourself, you're marketing yourself. It will contain your educational, professional history, skills, ability, qualification, experience. All your years studying, working, volunteering work, all the skills that you have learned, try to list them down in a way that is very easy to navigate so people will find out who you are as a person and why you are fit for this position. So a strong CV is the key to get you inside this organization. And it's the first impression for the employee to know the employer to find out who you are. The HR staff are receiving like hundreds of CV on daily basis. So you have to make sure that your CV will shine among their CVs and to be the one that will be putting up for the, to carry on for the interview, for coming for the test and so on. Make it easy to read, make it also memorable by them. The CV should look professional and well-structured, clearly and divided to section. Well, we'll share that with you later on as well. We'll talk about it. You should not handwrite your CV or even correct it by a pen, go back and rewrite your CV is much better than, change your phone number or change your email or even update it on the piece of paper. Use a clean and crisp font. So it's easy for them to read. And also for the colors, make it more professional. Don't put lots of colors and lots of logos that would disturb also the readers. Keep it short because mainly it's maximum 2 pages. And if you have more experience, fine, make it more like 3 pages, but make it, bullet points, make it easy to read and navigate through. And break the text up, as I mentioned, to bullet points, because that would be also easier for them to navigate and read. I've learned that there is no one best way to write a CV. Every person will have his own way of writing his own CV. The most important thing is how to make it yours, how to make it easy to read, how to market yourself in a way that people will remember you when you come also for the test, for the interview, because they will know, oh, this guy, he wrote this in his CV, he was sharp, so on. So I will go through the structure and the format of the CV. We will have the contact information, professional picture, the career objectives, education and qualification, work experience, your award certificate, things that you're interested in, your skills and your competencies. So if we go how to format our CV, if you can see here, it's divided into sections. And we use like bold to show that you are translating from one point to another. So it will be easy to read, and you can see the font is very easy to read as well. We have to break the paragraphs into bullet points, and subtle colors scheme to be very nice to emphasize on our grade or the university we graduated from, our GPA. Some few words the company would like to go through will be very nice for them and easy. Always GPA is 3 or 4, or he have got this skill. Better to have. When it comes to work experience, if you have experience, if you worked before in so many organizations, you can write about this organization, the position, the date you joined and you left, and also the responsibility that you took when you're working in this organization. If you don't have, you can write if you have any voluntary work, maybe you're head of a school, class in the, at your university or at the school to show that you are a responsible person, if you have some abilities and potential as well, if you take in part-time jobs. And also you have to list them in a chronological details, the oldest and then the newest first and then the older by date. When it's come to the educational part, you write about your schools and university, your GPA. Sometimes you can write also about the subject that you have taken at the university, if it's related to the position. If it's like math, engineering, if you did like a project about an engineering and you want to apply for manufacturing company, it will help you to show that you have reports and you have read about the subject. It'd be nice to write a paragraph about your projects and subjects. When it's come to hobbies and interests, if you don't have any, there is no need to list them, because in here people they want the truth. It's not a mandatory field to list them, and if you don't list them, doesn't make your CV less than others. Because we don't want you to write something that's actually not true. The most common written hobbies currently are horseback riding, eating, traveling, and reading. And if you mention any of them and people just like ask about them and you won't be able to answer in the interview, it's not good for you, and you might be, hired in this organization. So better you list the truth. If you have any, list them. If you don't, it's not mandatory at all. It's very important to be honest when you write your CV. So at the end, I just want to conclude with the useful tips. Always, always, always spell check your CV and list all the truth, facts, and events and qualification. And make sure you go through your CV, and maybe your friends also can help you by going through your CV and give you some advices. Save it in PDF file, so when you send them to the company, the format won't change. And cater your CV to fit the vacancies in the organization, so make it fit to them. Never back your CV, always print it in separate pages. Never fold it, and always keep updated. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Lulva.
Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable time and taking out.
DTM Lulva, you may stop sharing.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Moderator, would you be able to assist?
Yeah, it's okay, fine. So I will take over. You can continue.
Okay. Thank you, please, because I'm not able to do that from here.
So moderator, can we have on display the certificate of appreciation for DTM Lulva? Thank you, DTM Lulva, and can we have a big round of applause? Thank you very much. And be with us for Q&A, because DTM, Mariam, she's getting a lot of questions, and we'll ask you in the Q&A session. The persona I would like to invite next is an HR professional from the Tata Institute, India, with almost 30 years of experience in the field. He started his career with Procter & Gamble in India and progressed across companies and countries, including ANZ Bank, Spinneys, and Alpha 10 Group. He's passionate about growing people and performance. During the last 16 years, he has worked in Dubai and Kuwait as HR director and GM HR with reputed companies like Red Bull and the Tamdeen Group. Along the way, he also studied strategic leadership at Harvard, followed with courses at Cornell and UCLA. He enjoys music, coaching, and a love for learning. He is currently based in India as a coach, consultant, and speaker, empowering people design and live their dreams. Please put a big round of applause for DTM Floyd Almeida, title Ace Your Job Interview. DTM Floyd Almeida, watch your screen, is all yours.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and officials. I hope you can hear me clearly and you can watch my screen. Can I get a confirmation on that, please?
Sir,
Yes,
you're
please.
all good.
Great. What I plan to do over the next 15 odd minutes is to share with you my experiences with recruitment across various levels as well as across various countries. And going forward, what we've realized is things have changed. What is the purpose of an interview now? The purpose of the interview is for the interviewer, who is the representative of the organization, to position the company to the candidate and see if the candidate is the right person to add value to the organization in the short term and in the long term. Whereas the candidate is looking forward to position himself or herself and check out whether the job is the right one for him in the short term, and if the company is the right one for him as a long-term career build. So when we look at the whole concept, basically a purpose of the interview is for both parties to position themselves to get enough information and to make the right decision. Either make a job offer if you are the company, or to accept the job offer if you are the candidate. Now, this is not easy, even for recruitment people, even for us who do the interviews, because sometimes it's extremely difficult. And given this context, is it possible that a candidate, you and I sitting on the other side of the interview, can add value to the process in terms of understanding how we can help them make a better decision, preferably in our favor? So what we are going to look at through this presentation is the mindset. What's the mindset that we need to take, given that the context of business has changed? What kind of questions can we anticipate? What kind of responses can we prepare? Of course, I won't be talking about specific content of what you need to say, because that is very individual, but how you can structure your response. And should you get the offer, what decision matrix you could use to make a decision whether to accept it or not. So this is largely what we would be covering. Potential, which is now the key word when people look for new candidates to be hired. The VUCA world, what's the mindset we need, how the selection process proceeds, a response structure like STAR, what we do during and after the interview, and finally a decision matrix. And if we get rejected, how do we handle it? Now, Claudio Fernando Arroz, he's an Egon Zehnder advisor, a Harvard lecturer, and an ex-McKinsey consultant. And over his 30 years of evaluating and tracking people, what he has discovered is that potential is the most important predictor of success across all levels. He says right from the C-suite to right down, could be even your security guard. Why? Because we've now entered a new era of talent spotting, which is not brains, brawn, not even competencies, which was and currently still is at places important, but it's potential. And going forward on that, what is potential is the ability to adapt and grow, because things have become so unpredictable. And what he has defined as the key players and indicators which companies need to look for and which we as candidates need to be ready to demonstrate is motivation, curiosity, insight, engagement, and determination. These are considered the 5 keys of potential, which all of us, when we go for a job, need to demonstrate through the experiences which we share. This is what businesses are now looking for it. So now that we know what businesses are looking for, how can we position ourselves to be the candidate who has potential? Now, talking about the first one, motivation, it's about a first commitment to excel. No matter what happens, you are willing to learn and unselfishly focus on collective goals. Curiosity, this is absolutely essential. You need to learn, you need to go beyond your area of comfort. Discomfort is the new normal. Feeling comfortable in discomfort. Because when you do that, you learn new things, you're able to get new insights and make sense of what's happening around you. Finally, is engagement, what sometimes may also be called emotional intelligence, because it's the ability to know yourself, to manage your emotions, and to be able to manage your relationships, which is extremely important. Irrespective where you are in the organization, you largely deliver results through people, either through your boss or as a boss through your team. And finally, determination, critical, because if you are unable to push through and be resilient through the ups and downs, you are not going to be able to deliver. Having said that, why has this changed from what it used to be to what it is now? Why has this new lens of capability come up? And when you look at it, the first era which we had of looking at talent was largely in the previous millennia, where they were looking for people with physical attributes to build pyramids, drill canals, and to fight wars. So it was largely physical attributes. The second era, which started around the 20th century, then we started experiencing intelligence experience. Why? Because there was a technological revolution. People now needed more than their physical attributes. They needed intelligence and the ability to think through things. And past performance was considered as an indicator because life was pretty linear then. Now in the 1980s, we entered the third era, which was driven by David McLennan from Harvard, who wrote an article saying we go beyond intelligence into competence, where we look at what the specific skills and abilities people need to be successful. And then we talked about emotional intelligence. And finally, we are now in an era which is called VUCA, I'm sure many of you all have heard the term. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. It's an American Army term when they were in duty in different places where things couldn't be predicted. So as a result of this VUCA environment, we need to hire people who demonstrate potential, who have the adaptability and the agility to demonstrate growth, both for themselves and for the organization. So when we say volatile, we mean that things are changing very quickly and unpredictable ways. The environment needs you to take action when it's uncertain. You don't have all the data. Sometimes things are complex. There are too many interconnections and at times ambiguous. You are outside your area of comfort, outside your area of expertise. And still the person needs to move on and deliver. So for people who are either entering the labor market or for people who have been senior and been around for a long time, you need to handle this VUCA through another VUCA, which is called vision, understanding, clarity, and agility, so that you can handle the volatile, uncertain, and ambiguous future that you have, the uncertain future that you have. So you need to know clearly what is your professional future, what is changing around you, where do you want to go, and regularly skill and upskill. So now that you understood the context within which you are going to be appearing for interviews, you now know how to position yourself and your abilities. For example, now the old on the left, you'll see on the left-hand side, that is what things used to be like. But now on the right-hand side, great hires is what we need, people who demonstrate potential. Now, you cannot demonstrate potential if you don't have a growth mindset, which has been called by Carol Dweck, who is a psychologist from Stanford. Many of us have this thing that we have a fixed mindset. We are afraid of failure. We believe that things cannot get better, or we don't like to be challenged. We want to be in our comfort zone. That has to be replaced by what's called the growth mindset, where you, even if you fail, you look at it as a learning opportunity. And in the end, success is a mindset, because that's what really builds your potential. There is no failure, only feedback to learn, grow, and grow. This is the important part. So now we all know that the selection process, now that we know the context within which it happens, is about, there is a screening interview initially, then there's a selection interview. There could be different people on the panel. There are different things people look for and focus, and finally there's an outcome. This is the general process. And we know that there are three main types of questions that we could be asked. One is behavior, which uses past experiences to predict the future, which says, tell me about a time when, for example, or scenarios, situational, which says, okay, if this happened, what would you do? Which is largely the situations back in the job, probably common situations in the job or anticipated situations on the job. And finally, subject matter expertise, which is technical, which you really need to know. Finally, what is it when you go for an interview that you need to keep in mind? You should know that every question that an interviewer asks you, he is expecting something from you. And if you know that, you are able to position your answer to be able to address those requirements. And your answer should be unique to you. It should be, as far as possible, numerical and honest with facts. That's what makes the difference. Now, what is it that we need to do before we go in for an interview? We need to know ourselves, what's good about us, what are our strengths. I've listed a list here. It's a bit heavy slide, but that's for people who are reading. You can just find out if you missed out anything. You need to know the company. What are its challenges? What are its future plans, and how you can fit into it, into the entire context. You need to know what is the job. So please read your job description extremely carefully when you go forward, because then you can match it with your strengths and with your abilities. Try to get information of the interviewers, because that gives you an idea and an insight into their mind. What do you think they would ask? What would be their favorite question? What is their area of focus? And finally, practice, practice, practice. I cannot say enough of this. You need to practice. Now, what is it that you need to practice? Now, all answers have a standard format. You can use this format, which has been very popular, called the STAR format. So if somebody says, tell me a time when you were able to handle a difficult situation and come out successful, what you need to look at is putting your answer in the STAR format, which is S stands for the situation, T is the task, A is the action, and the result. I'll show you a few quick examples after this, so you'll have an understanding. But whenever you talk, about this, look at working out your answer into these formats using the star format. But having said that, that's not the end of it. With a star format, you are still going to have follow-up questions because people are looking for potential, your ability, your motivation, your curiosity, your determination, the things that you can deliver results even in challenges. So you need to anticipate these questions, the follow-up probes. What was your role? How did the company recognize your work? How long did it take to complete? So don't just make a star format and then be happy about it. Anticipate these questions. And I would strongly suggest, this is what I do after somebody tells me a star format, because people come prepared. You also want to see the person's ability to learn and grow, because that becomes critical. So what is used is starry. Don't just be a star, be starry, where R stands for review and I for improve. So if you said, this is what I've done, it's important for you, if the interviewer asks you, okay, if you had the same situation again, what would you do differently? And that gives them an insight into whether you are just somebody who does things and forgets about it, or you reflect on it and use it to improve. Having said that, here are some quick examples. So let's say you get a question which says, tell me about a time when you performed well under great pressure. So first, talk about the situation. In this particular one, I'm just going to skim through. The coworker had a family emergency. So what was the task he had to handle? He had to take on the project with no leniency on the deadline. What was the action he did? He requested to be a reduction in his goals. He was able to delegate. And then what was the result? He was able to finish it on time with complete accuracy. And eventually he got a promotion and a pay rise. So this is how you use the star format. And then you can even go forward and plan out, okay, what is it that you want to look, if the same situation happened again, what would you do differently? Remember that with each of these situations as you create your star format. Let's look at a few quick ones. Now, you had a conflict at work. What did you do? There was a disagreement, you tried to make amends, and you used the opportunity to apologize and move forward. Similarly, a health inspection happened, the person was ready and moved forward. So when you look at these important things, you realize that you need to move forward, demonstrate potential, and give specific examples which factual numerical data where possible. Now, these are simple things which is on the day of the interview. What do you do? How do you groom yourself? It makes your first impression is very important. In fact, they start assessing you from the time you are there. Your arrival, how you meet the interviewer, make smiles, make an eye contact, keep positive body language. Your non-verbal communicates much more than your verbal. So please be aware of that. The information exchange, that's when the interviews happen. And finally, there is a wrap-up of how things go about it at the end. Be sure of your verbal communications, how you communicate with voice and words, like I said earlier, and your body language. Avoid staring and be yourself, be authentic, avoid slouching, things like these. Now, during the interview, you would also have some questions. For example, let's say this, tell me about your strengths. Now, you know what the interviewer is anticipating. He wants to know your capabilities. Have you used these things and how are you going to be using it forward? So this tells you that how your strengths meets the employee need. This is the important one. Finally, another one, tell me about your weakness. He wants you to see if you're honest about it and how will you overcome it. So show that you have an improvement plan, why you are interested. Talk about how you will contribute and grow with the company and how you want to build your career with the company. Why should we hire you? This is the most important one. Talk about your fit, talk about your strengths. How do they match with the company values, cultures, and the key projects that the company is coming up with? And when do you have any questions? This is usually a great closing one. At this point in time, you largely talk about avoid salary, etc., but talk again how you would fit in with your values, your work ethic, your potential with the projects. And then you could ask things like, what's the success criteria? What's the work culture? What training? These are things which shows that you're interested in the job. Finally, after the interview, you could send an email, which is good manners, and when you can expect a referral call, things like those. And finally, once say you've got the offer, 4 things to consider: learning, earning, environment, and growth. Don't just look at the salary. That's only one part of the matrix. Look at your future employability through development. Besides, what kind of career purpose, what kind of progression you can have? Is the progression based on tenure or merit? choose a company where progression is based on merit. What's the company culture like? Do you have autonomy to do your job? Do you have the resources? Now, it won't be that you get your job all the time. There are times you will be rejected. In that case, remember that rather than look at a fixed mindset and say, failure is limitations, I can't get that job, I can't go higher than where I am. Develop the growth mindset, saying that I will learn from this experience and I will continue to apply to other interviews. I will continue to look what mistakes I had and how I can get better. And that's, in the end, what your potential is. Use every experience as a learning experience, build your potential, and continue to prepare and practice for your next interview. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Floyd. That sums it up. You only grow and glow. And today you have really given us an opportunity on how to ace on your job interview. May I have, thank you, moderator, the certificate of appreciation to DTM Floyd Almeida. Please. Now we have time for the Q&A. I would request the moderator to, can we have a panelist on Spotlight, please? The first question is for DTM Rekha from Toastmaster Elvis. It says, how to apply for a job where one has the competencies to do the job, but not the direct experience in some of the job requirements. For example, no HR management. How to write an application towards the same?
Could you just repeat the last part of the question one more time? No.
When the person wants to apply for a job and he doesn't have an HR management experience, so how does he write an application towards the same?
Well, I don't know. Elvis seems to be asking for my story, actually. So let me just explain quickly. I was in the airline industry in market development and sales. And when I decided to change domain, in my CV, I put the kind of organizational work that I had done while doing marketing and sales, like organizing events, managing the office for the territory. So I put that in my CV. And when I went in for the interview at Allianz, they said that you don't have an admin experience. And I said, yes, but when you manage a sales team, what you get is an admin experience, because you need to manage their leaves, you need to manage their time, you need to manage the marketing events that you're talking about. So that gives you the skill. And I still remember the CEO told me that we want to try you on, so we cannot give you the title, and we will match the salary, but we cannot give you the title. Is that okay for you? So I was already sales manager, regional manager for Singapore Airlines. And I said, titles don't matter to me, but in 1 year's time, I will come back and ask for a title. You have to give it to me. And he agreed, and I joined as a senior officer admin for Allianz. Now, what will stand in good stead is your confidence in the interview. But since you asked about the CV, highlight the parts which will fit into their requirement, Elvis, and your CV will get recognized.
Thank you. We have Toastmaster Chalapati. He has raised his hand. Would you unmute yourself and ask your question?
My question is for DTM Lulva. What is that one point what a job aspirant has to highlight in his or her CV in just one word?
I'm sorry, hi, you're asking for one word?
Just one word, what a job aspirant has to highlight in his or her curriculum weighted?
See, from my perspective, from my experience when it comes to CV and HR, it's not only one word that you're going to highlight. I believe it's all the responsibility and the experience that you have from your past job. If you have work experience, you can highlight all the responsibilities, as my previous speaker said, Toastmaster Raquel, she said about that. You should mention your responsibility in a previous job. Those things will be recognized by the organization, because this is actually what they are looking for. It's not your grade, it's not your GPA in the university, it's not what you studied, it's actually your responsibilities, because the organization wants to know exactly what you're going to bring to them when you are hiring in their organization. They want to know what you have done previously in your other jobs, what kind of responsibility that you've taken over, because it's very important for them. So you should highlight these points. You should learn about the organization you want to apply to, and find out if your responsibility in your previous organization can bring, add value to them. And then when you highlight them. I hope that I answered your question.
Thank you very much.
If I may add, sorry to interrupt, the one thing that we do look for, to use your one word, I'd say one phrase, it's a can-do attitude. Because you need to see that essence, because if the person is in his comfort zone, he's not going to survive in the company for more than 6 months. You need a can-do attitude, take on things, be determined, learn and grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And that brings to another question. It's on the chat, as well as it was sent to our HOE, DTM Mariam. It's about the salary. How does one negotiate a better salary? We all work for earning, right? Earn is very important to make a living. So DTM Floyd, the question is addressed to you.
I think it's a great question, but just let's remember, why does a company hire people? A company hires people to deliver value. So if you believe that the value that you are delivering to the organization is higher than the salary you are getting, then you are justified in asking for a salary increase. And that's the way you need to position it. But asking for a salary increase just because I've been in this job for 2 years and 3 years, and my son has gone to college and my expenses have increased, that's no justification. We are adult professionals. We contribute value and we expect value in return. So I would ask I would say to whoever has asked that question, list the value that you are providing to the organization and speak to your manager about it and see if he agrees, because at the end of the day, he is the customer, he is the consumer of the value you provide. You are helping him deliver his departmental results. So if he agrees that, wow, this is the value that you are giving me, then you can say that, okay, to commensurate with the value I provide, I believe I should get a salary increment, and make it factual. I have delivered this result. I increased sales by 30%. I increased revenues by 50%. I'm still at the same salary. And also make it clear that the salary you get does not determine the motivation which you come to your job with. That's very important. Many managers initially may not give you an increase for the first 2-3 months. It takes a process. But if they feel that your motivation and your performance has dropped in the interim period, you can be sure you're not going to get the salary increase. So it's value for value.
Thank you for answering that. Value for value. That's the takeaway message. DTM Rekha, this question is addressed to you from Toastmaster Sukumar. And even I would ask you the same. It's concerning the Toastmasters. Toastmasters, as we know, give us a space and believe that it adds a lot of value. So, however, Toastmasters is not widely recognized out of domain, let alone its contributions. What can we do all about it?
Well, I'm not very sure whether Toastmasters is not recognized. Toastmasters is recognized, but how many corporates feel the need for it? And that is where the differentiation comes.
Somehow corporates feel that Toastmasters is an individual's growth and development story or growth and development journey. But the corporates who have had Toastmasters within their organization, they understand the advantage of Toastmasters, that it builds teamwork, it builds networking in an organization. Like, for example, Sukumar knows that WMC is conducting speechcraft session for American Mission Hospital. It's a hospital with 500 odd employees. Some of them are meeting each other for the first time in the speechcraft session. And when they go out, the networking has improved, which means that somebody from the pharmacy has met somebody in the lab, or somebody from the lab has met somebody in the clinic. It brings in collaboration. The more we promote Toastmasters as a vehicle or a platform to promote collaboration, teamwork, and networking to corporates, I think we can actually increase our exposure and make it a more valuable platform. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you.
If I may interrupt and answer also this question from our experience in GIC Club. GIC Club is a bilingual club, and we are using all the knowledge of Toastmaster and building the new generation of engineers. Toastmaster now become one of the most important training tools in GIC. So all the new graduates, all the new operator, technicians, and engineer must be Toastmasters. And immediately once they join the organization, they will go through presentations about why Toastmaster is important, and immediately they will be registered as Toastmasters, select their path. And in their monthly meeting, they follow up with them if they are attending the Toastmaster, if they are giving the presentations, and we're trying to adapt Toastmaster, as I mentioned, to be a training and development tool. At the same time, we'll ask them to give presentations and papers about their work experience, what they are learning. We're doing debates about technical and technical issues. We're asking them to go and research what they are studying at the moment in the field and come back and give presentations, so others also will benefit. Some engineers working on different plans, so we ask them to gather together and to give us a presentation about what they are learning from different plans. Would be also a learning change experience. So Toastmaster is very important, and now many corporates are going to establish Toastmaster because they know the importance of creating leaders. And in GIC, we're creating ambassadors to go outside and to give papers in forums and to become mentors in so many programs inside. We have Injaz Bahrain program also, so all the engineers have to be in Injaz Bahrain when they will be delivering subject to students, so they know how they have to know how to stand in front of audience and how to speak to them. It's very important. Toastmaster is very important. It's essential for every organization. So yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. And
well said, Lulwa. And you brought in the aspect that sharing information, that's
Such a wonderful forum to share information.
If I may add to what the esteemed Toastmasters have said, a very underutilized part of Toastmasters is to drive innovation. Because when people have the confidence to speak their minds, they are willing to share ideas. And when people share ideas, it drives the innovation. In today's VUCA environment, like I said earlier, and in today's knowledge economy, ideas, then collaboration, and then implementation is success. An idea by itself is not great. An idea followed by execution and implementation makes the difference. And I think that's where we need to position Toastmasters. So if you need to survive for the future, you need to be able to generate ideas, collaborate, and execute them. And I think having people with the courage and confidence and clarity of thought to communicate makes a significant difference in this area.
Thank you. A question addressed from DTM Khaled to DTM Floyd. If someone doesn't get a job in his or her field, should he wait or accept that job in any other field as well?
Well, it largely boils down to the confidence you have on your skill set and the market for your skill set. In today's world, people do change careers. But change careers not out of desperation, I would not recommend that, but change careers out of conviction. And that's the biggest difference. Because if you change your career out of desperation, you go into your new career or into a new field believing that you are here, because nothing else is better. You are feeling incapable of developing new skills. But when you go into a new field because of conviction, maybe it's a segue. Maybe you are great in marketing, and like we said, people moved into HR. They still enjoy dealing with people. So it's related. The important thing is portability of your skills. Does the skills you have, do the skills that you've developed over these years, is it portable? Can it be used in a different format, in a different area? Like, for example, if for example, you are in finance and then you want to go into insurance, it makes sense. You're still dealing with numbers. You're looking at portable skills that you are using. But if you are going to go into something totally unrelated, and if you are not willing to make the effort or have the time to learn those new skills, then you're just jumping from the frying pan into the fire. So my suggestion is, first take a self-inventory of all your skills, and then say, okay, this is what I'm good at. Once you've done the self-inventory of your skills, say, these are my strengths. Then once you know what your strengths are, use those strengths as a launch pad to move into careers or into jobs that need those strengths. That's the way I would recommend going forward. Don't just jump and say, okay, this is the first job around the corner, I'm jumping into it.
When we talk about
strength and passion
as well, just to Floyd's the tip.
Sure,
Passion.
sure.
we have a lot of questions pouring in. I'm sure you can leave on the chat your details and you can answer them separately because timer has shown the red card. Thank you all panelists. A big round of applause.
Thank you.
Lots
Thank
of
you.
questions pouring in. I'm sure you can just share your contact details and we can be in touch with you for all
Sure.
those questions we
For
answered.
sure. For sure.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice
Thank you.
meeting you all. Bye.
Yeah.
We have the session continuing. Toastmasters and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my colleague today, with many know her in Kuwait as Mastani, whom I have the honor of sharing the platform, a senior personality, president of Ha 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 Laugh Out Loud Cup, VP Education of Leading Ladies, past area director, district first runner-up in humorous and contestant for international speech, triple graduate, bachelor's of commerce, bachelor's of education. You need law, LLB. Worked as a manager in Reliance Group for 4 years, and former teacher, the vivacious, the bubbly DTM Tabassum Ali.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Toffee, for that very ha 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 and warm introduction. And you definitely deserve a round of applause for carrying on the session very, very vibrantly. Now it's a challenge for me to continue the same. So wishing everyone a very, very warm good morning, all the way from District 20, Kuwait. And I can see there are a lot of Toastmasters from around the world. So there goes a good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to this amazing session where there is lots and lots of learning. Life is a matter of choices, and every choice you make makes you. A quote by John C. Maxwell. And today, what you have chosen is to grow with growth in Toastmasters, right? Come on, give me some reaction that I know that behind the scene you are all attentive. So let's have some nice smileys or thumbs up or claps. That's great. Awesome. And do I see a PQD around here? Yes, PQD, if you are here, give me a heart. No, I do not see a PQD giving me a heart here. So yes, we'll wait for our PQD, Khalid Abdullah, to join us. And after this session, amazing session by DTM Rekha, Floyd Almeida, and Rekha and Lulva, I think we are all charged up. So now let's come to the next session, or this challenging session, where we are going to meet the club growth director. I heard from Floyd, he said something about feeling uncomfortable is the new comfortable. Comfort and growth do not go hand in hand. But I beg to differ with this. I think we are all sitting so comfortably in our house and yet we are growing. So today our club growth director will say that yes, there is growth right from the comfort of our home. And for that, we have three amazing club growth director from three different districts who are going to enlighten us with what's happening new with Toastmasters. So let me invite our first club growth director. And for that, let me just introduce him. Yes. He is a passionate Toastmaster from the year 2012, interested in learning leadership and connecting with people. He has held various leadership positions as division director, area director, club president, and taken up all Club X compositions in Elite and Farabi Toastmasters Club. Under his leadership, the first Division D conference was conducted in the year 2017-18. He was fortunate to be a youth leadership coordinator for the year 2017-18. He is club coordinator for Al Hussein Elite Gavel Club from 2015 to date. He was the SATA-C SATAC 2020 Vice Chairman for English Contest and Program and was the first virtual contest for District 79. He was the immediate past District 79 Public Relation Manager who introduced podcast, Whatcast, My Why, Know Your Leaders, and active PR team ever in District 79. He strongly believes in teamwork, which makes a dream work, and even I totally believe in that. Professionally, he is working as a sales engineer at Farabi Petrochemicals Company and has completed his post-graduation in chemical engineering in India. Put your hands together and welcome DTM Palani Raj with his keynote title, Retention of Corporate Clubs and Institution Clubs. Podium is all yours.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
you're very much audible.
Thank you very much. Moderator, can I share my screen?
Yes, please. You are co-host.
No, thank you. Thank you, DTM Tabasam, for giving a wonderful introduction about myself. And I should thank the District 20 Director, DTM Alifa, the Program Quality Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, very own District 20 Director, Club Growth Director, DTM Khalid Jalal, the Program Host, Division E Director, Toastmaster Vishal, fellow panelists, members of District 20 and the Toastmaster fraternity. Warm good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone here present over here. Today, I would like to come up with a story about District 79 and what are the plans which we have brought in to retain the corporate clubs and the institution clubs for the year 2021-2022. Just to give you a brief about what is District 79, we are a district of 3,000 plus members, and we have a payment members of 7,980 members, and our club base is around 180 clubs, and we have 48 areas and 13 divisions. And to give you an overview of how many members are available as a single member, or a dual member, three members in 3 clubs, 4 clubs, 5 clubs, and 6+ clubs. So this is the overall base of District 79. And another graph shows you how many community clubs we have, which is around 105 community clubs. We have 60 corporate clubs and 15 university or institution clubs in District 79. The challenges in front of us in District 79, we need 81 club coaches, and the payment so far we have done is only 2,756, and we have lost around 39 clubs last year alone, and 57 clubs have not renewed their club officers list. So these are the challenges in front of us, And this is an area where we see that there is a lot of chance that we may lose more clubs in future. So keeping all these challenges in mind, we have come up with a strategy or a plan for District 79, which is our aim is to increase our club base by 20 new clubs, 500 new members, and 100% club retention. How are we going to achieve it? Is we have some plans for District 79 as a club growth team. The first, what are the challenges which we have in the corporate and the university clubs is members not attending Toastmasters meetings, particularly the corporate and the university clubs, because they don't conduct, because they are either they are busy in meetings or they are busy in the corporate meetings, and as well as they do not see the value of Toastmasters. Second is first of all, they do not, most of them in the corporate or the university, they do not know what is the pathways. So, and that is mainly because they do not pay the fee on time, so that their access to pathways is being disconnected, and they do not have mentoring at all. And the last priority is for them is the Toastmasters meeting. So these are the challenges for most of them. I think most of our guests will agree that the corporate clubs and university clubs face these challenges with them. And the last and foremost is the university clubs have almost around 5 to 6 months of vacation period. So they completely out of Toastmasters from month of March till September. So this is a break period for the university. So most of them do not renew or do not show interest in joining Toastmasters at all. So how are we going to overcome them? We have come up with some unique programs which has been tested in other districts, and we thought that it should be implemented in District 79, and we have started to implement this. One is the club adoption program. The clubs which have less than 19 members, we have asked the club to be adopted by a club which can support them, which has more than 20 members and which has won the distinguished club status last year. So we have asked them to adopt a club which is suffering, so that in that way they can have joint meetings, they can have mentorship programs supported by the respective clubs. So District 79 will be awarding the clubs which will be mentoring or adopting another club. So far we have received 5 clubs which have taken up, which have adopted another club to support them. So this is one program which we have brought in. The other one is the corporate university program. I work in Farabi Petrochemicals, which is in Jubail, in the eastern provinces of Saudi Arabia. We have a government organization called the Royal Commission, which handles the entire Jubail industrial city, which comprises of corporates, which comprises of industries, primary, secondary industries, and as well as the universities in Jubail fraternity. So what our Royal Commission has requested our company is to support them in growing the university students. So how one way of collaborating with the university is that we thought, why not we support the university clubs, university to have their clubs and improve their membership. This is a win-win situation for both corporates and as well as the university, because the talent, the cream of talents in the university can be picked up by the corporate clubs. So it gives a job opportunity, and as well as they learn the soft skills when they are in the university or when they are in the institution. So this program is being currently implemented in the Jubail Toastmasters fraternity, and we are I'm overseeing this program from the front. And the mentor-mentee program of for the District 79. So far we had mentor-mentee only in the club level, but we want to extend it to the clubs which do not have the mentor-mentee program. So the District 79 will appoint a mentor, or whoever wants to be a mentor will be given a mentee. So we have This program is being followed in one of the American districts. So we have seek their support to support us with the protocols and as well as the guidelines to run this mentor-mentee programs. So this is currently being implemented in District 79, and we are going to take it very seriously and continue it for a long time. And this is a dream project which we have, which is the Corporate Summit. We have so many industries in District 79, but not all industries are showing interest to join Toastmasters. They do not care or want another burden in this thing. So we want to invite the decision makers of the corporates to this particular summit and bring in the benefit of Toastmasters into their organization culture. So we have planned to conduct the corporate summit in 3 regions. One is Dammam, Khobar, Dammam, Riyadh, and Jubail. So where there are a lot of industries, a lot of corporates, which we will be inviting, and at least if we achieve 5% of this being converted into in having a Toastmasters club, that will be very, very successful for us. And the third one is the corporate forum. So far, if you see, the people who reach the district competitions will be from the community clubs, or most of them will be from the community clubs. But the corporates and the universities do not have this, see them above the area or above the division contest. So the one way to recognize them, recognize the corporates and the university, is to conduct a separate contest for the corporate and as well as the university, so that these people can come up to the high stage and see them as the winners. So that will really motivate the other members to join Toastmasters and shine out of them. So these are the 2 programs contests which we are going to conduct from the CGD point of view, and of course we are getting the support from the program quality director to conduct these contests this year. Last but not the least is we are conducting a program called Layer Cards. Last year we have started this program. This is the program where we invite the division, area, and the club representative to come and present their best practices which they follow in their respective area, division, and club, so that these best practices can be heard, and these practices can be also been followed by the other clubs, area, and division. And it will be an idea exchange program for all members. And so far last year we have started this program when I was the PR manager, and we conducted 2 divisions, and this year we have started in the month of October. We have already completed with 1 division, and on 31st we will be having this program for division G, which is only ladies division. So we will be continuing this program to increase our membership and as well as increase our the best practices followed in the clubs. So these are the key programs which we thought that it should come up and do it. Last year I came up with a flagship program called My Vibe program. Almost around 52 members of District 79 participated, and in this My Vibe program, and it was a grand success for us, and it was widely publicized in all the social media, and this really motivated many of the Toastmasters to come up, because we are there for members. Our first priority should be members, and I hope that we focus only on members and not on individual pride. So last year was a great year for us in implementing many programs, not only me as a PR manager, even the technology manager, the program quality director, the district director himself came up with various programs to support members, and keeping in mind the members' growth is key for District 79. So this program was implemented, and I hope, I wish all the other districts can also follow. And this is what I feel members need it. So you can take this as a live example for you. According to me, and as a wise man of Toastmasters International, Ralph Smedley has said, it is their leadership is the ability to look ahead, think ahead, and plan ahead, and influence people to go ahead after the plan. So we have lot of plans for our members, but how do we influence is a key for us. So keeping our self goal, not keeping our self goal in front, we should always think about members and their growth. That will definitely bring your district to greater heights. And I'm achieving all this plan with the support of my great team. We have 32 members in my club growth team for District 79, and with their support, I think I will be able to achieve the mission of District 79, which is 20 new clubs, 500 new members, and 100% club retention. Thank you, and over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you so much for that wonderful, insightful news about your club growth. And there was a lot of learning, the collaboration between the university and the corporate. Yes, we can be the mediator. And please have a certificate of appreciation for that wonderful session. Some reaction buttons, please. Thank you. And let's move on from one CGD to another CGD of a different district. And let's hear from this vivacious lady, who's the current CGD, D105 PRM 2021, Division F Director 1920, Best Division Director of the Year, District Outstanding Toastmaster of the Year 17-18, Area 5 Director 16-17, joined TM in 2013. Wow, that's a lot of credit. She's Masters in Computer Application, Qualified Auditor. All this short form CISA, PMP, CISSP, CRISC, Lead Auditor. Well, these are words, I think, for me to, how many of you know these kind of qualifications? Wow. Published author, second book is getting released on this season of Sharjah International Book Fair 2021. She's wife of Surendran P, mother of 2 girls, just like me. I have 2 wonderful daughters. Put your hands together and welcome DTM Deepa Surendran with her keynote titled Challenges and Opportunities. And I'm still reeling with your amazing qualification. Welcome with a round of applause, Deepa Surendran, DTM.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Tabasum, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you very much. And District 20, all the directors, fellow Toastmasters, District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia, Program Quality Director, and Club Growth Director, both DTM Khalid's, Division E Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Vishal, Distinguished Toastmaster Palaniraj from 79, Distinguished Toastmaster Sarah from 104, and all the dignitaries who enlightened us earlier. Distinguished Toastmasters Rekha, Lulwa, and Floyd, and all the fellow Toastmasters, a very happy morning to all of you. Now, when we think about challenges and opportunities, we don't like challenges at all, right? We don't like changes also, but we all need to be improved. We need better salary. We need better house. We need a better car. We need better food. We need to go to better restaurant. I need better food. We need all these things. But what? We don't want challenges. How is that possible? There should be balance, right? What do you say? Anyway, we all are Toastmasters. I'm not sure how many guests are here. If you are not a Toastmaster, I'm calling you future Toastmasters. You will become a Toastmaster after this event. And we Toastmasters are in Toastmasters to become better people, to improve ourselves, to upskill ourselves, and we are here to face challenges. The first challenge, what we do, attend table topics, impromptu speaking, right? So Toastmasters, we don't hate challenges. We know every challenge is an opportunity. Okay, now when we think about COVID-19, the biggest challenge of our generation. Our life was going smoothly, no problem was there. We were attending meetings, shaking hands, hugging, and we were delivering speeches. Small challenges only we were taking, expecting that big change will happen in our career, personal life, etc. But suddenly, this big challenges come because of the small virus. We had to face it, right? And we faced happily, but sadly sometimes. Yes, I agree. But still, when that challenge is over, when that challenge is getting over, we are happy that we are the survivors. When we are facing challenge, for sure, there will be some losses, but the brighter side of it is some happiness. We have gained something. We became stronger. So we don't have to worry about challenges. Now, to talk about my district, District 105, one of the biggest districts in the world. Last year, we had 13,000 members, and we almost became distinguished. We were less of 130 payments than becoming distinguished. So sad, no? But still, we are happy because we achieved that much. 25 plus new clubs we have added. It's spanning across 5 countries now, including UAE, Oman, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. One of the biggest, yes. And now, at this moment, after the October renewals, we have already added 5,336 payments. When the position was offered, or when I stood for the position, it was a big challenge. Shall I take it? But I was sure that this is going to give me some kind of happiness, that we have done something. We are able to make some difference in our members' lives or non-Toastmasters' lives. Out of this 5,336 member payments, around 1,000 is new members, brand new. Non-Toastmasters came into District 105. Big achievement. In normal situation, maybe it would have been 2,000, but still at this moment, when people are thinking, we need to cut all the extra cost, this is a big achievement. So how we did that? Okay, from last year, or since the COVID hit our all the Toastmasters meeting, there was a fear that, yes, our membership is going to get lowered. But actually speaking, should we sit idle thinking that, yeah, okay, people are going to cut all the extra costs because people are losing jobs. We all are scared of our lives itself, and we were sitting at home. But these are the challenge. What is the other side? The other side, most of us are getting more time. We became closer. We started cooking at home. We started, sharing recipes over website. We started blogging. We started YouTube. We started social media. Lot of presence over social media. In my community, we have a ladies group, and out of 196 members, 70 of them have their own YouTube channels at this moment. And you know what? Toastmasters, the new educational curriculum, which started in 2017, before the pandemic, focusing more on online presence, social media strategies, how to create a podcast. These are the projects in pathways. So when we faced all these situations, all the difficult situation, we thought we need to do something. We need to understand what is offered by Toastmasters. It's not something extra to be cut short during this pandemic. It is not something, some kind of a luxury to be cut short, such as ordering food from outside, doing unnecessary shopping in supermarkets. Toastmasters is not something like that. We realized this fact and we started awareness programs. We started, especially last year, I was the public relations manager of District 105. We started many awareness programs. It's not only speeches, but many different activities. One of the activities was fitness challenge. What is the relationship between Toastmasters and fitness? Many asked me. But during Dubai Fitness Challenge campaign period, we started this, and many of our Toastmasters, they came forward and they started posting their fitness activities online. Coming online is kind of public appearance, right? So we were instilling positivity, we were instilling confidence to be publicly available, socially available, socially getting connected. And it was a big hit. And now also we are running one campaign that identify one of the objectives which you are working at this moment, and then confirm that online and then work on it for next 21 days, then come back and let us know what is the status now. This will create a sense of achievement in all the members. That's what we believe. Every challenge is an opportunity. Even COVID is an opportunity for the survivors. Don't you think so? Now, I was talking about Toastmasters is not an extra or additional expense for the people. It is a necessity. During any pandemic, will we cut short of our schooling, our kids' schooling, or higher education? No, we don't. Toastmasters is also a necessity which will give us opportunity to upskill, to master on online platforms, which is a necessity in this era, in this new normal period. We are sitting in our homes and delivering speeches. If I need to be successful, if others need to like, as distinguished Toastmaster Rekha, her speech was so amazing because she had all the knowledge of how to convince people, looking at the camera and then talking very, with pauses. I mean, she just followed a different method other than the in-person meeting. She mastered the art of online speaking, right? So same way, we need to have this practicing environment or platform to master that particular skill. So online, whatever skills we need is different than in person. So we need, as club growth team or as Toastmaster leaders, club leaders or area division leaders, we need to communicate to all the non-Toastmasters that Toastmasters is a necessity to survive in these unprecedented times. And that is one thing we all can do. Spread the positivity, spread the message that this is not an extra to be cut short. That way we can improve or increase the membership strength. With that, let me close, let me stop at this moment, and if any questions is there, then we will answer later. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity as well. All the very best. Back to you, to our brilliant MC.
Thank you so much. And didn't I say that it's going to be a very vibrant and vivacious session from GTM Deepa Surendran? Please accept your certificate of appreciation with a round of applause. And as you have rightly said, that challenges and obstacles become an opportunity for Toastmasters. So during such times, you have given us a good recipe that we are not just surviving, we are thriving. And you have inspired us by saying your friends have made these YouTube channels or the podcast. So I think even I should go ahead and getting inspired from you, definitely, even I'll start a podcast or something of that sort. So thank you so much for inspiring. And let's move on to our next CGD and let's hear what she has in store for all of us. She is an academic accreditation specialist, accredited teacher, trainer, and academic writing coach with over 21 years of experience in the field of education, 15 years of which have been in the tertiary sector. Sarah is an avid reader who is passionate about learning, and this explains her keen interest in Toastmasters, which she was fortunate to join in early 2015. Before I invite her, let me acknowledge our program quality director who's here, and I'll be inviting her as soon as we finish with our next keynote speaker. And before I can do the honors of acknowledging all the dignitaries, I think our keynote speakers are doing it for me, that they're acknowledging the presence of all the district directors and all the leaders present here. So now put your hands together and welcome DTM Sarah Tabassum Ansari. I like the word Tabassum Ansari with her speech title, Tips for Expansion. Over to you.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Can you just
are
unmute
not-
yourself?
Now we need the action replay from DTM Sarah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Sorry, if you can just switch off the other device, your voice is echoing.
Thank you very much once again.
Oh. If you can just mute it.
Okay, that fixed it.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Madam Host, Toastmaster Tabassum Ali, Madam District Director of District 20, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia Lakdawala, Mr. Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid, Mr. Club Growth Director, and co-host for this event, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, the person that organized this event and the man that invited me, Toastmaster Vishal Edward, fellow Club Growth Directors from District 79, Distinguished Toastmaster Palani Raj, and District 105, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepa Surendran, friends in District 20, a very warm good morning, it's morning still. Good morning to each and every one of you. Now, a little bit of my background in Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters in a very early 2015. 3 years later, I was area director for Area 24. Last year, I was Division G director. Now, Division G fared in a very mediocre manner. Why? Our challenges were very unusual. And this is also what gave me my current perspectives. One of the challenges, for example, was that an event that happened in the previous year did not want basically hundreds of people to renew their memberships. They didn't want it. They wanted to be associated with District 104, but they didn't want to renew their memberships. And I spent my entire tenure giving more focus to these people that didn't want to renew. And by the way, eventually we won that. We won that challenge, we overcame it. By the end of June, half the people that didn't want to renew had already renewed. Long story short, it gave me a very important insight into what people are missing when they don't renew their memberships. So here's my little attempt to share with you what my district is trying to do this year in terms of winning people over so that they renew their memberships. Now, how does it go? First of all, let me remind you that I'm an educator. And being an educator, my job is to convince people that education is a great idea. Not only that, being an educator, my job is to be reflective and to have empathy and put myself in the shoes of others. Using these as my guides, here is a very brief CGD and PRM collab plan that we're implementing in District 104. We start something like this. The very first question that I ask members that I come across in divisions during the time we're meeting different area leaders, including during my visits to clubs. This question was asked to me by some senior leaders when I joined Toastmasters. What was your intent? Why did you originally join Toastmasters? Guys, remember the time? Remember the spark? Remember when you came in and you wanted to like conquer the world? What happened? Where's your original intent? Did you get to fulfill everything you came looking for? Isn't there something left? This is a very powerful, thought-provoking question. Something that makes people pause and instantly reflect. Half the time, they concede they are missing a great deal on what they thought they were going to gain. My second point is education. Excuse me for the spelling error there. Competencies. We're fortunate to be in the midst of the Pathways program, which is a groundbreaking effort on the part of Toastmasters International. After years of research, we're implementing something that is a great fit for the current century. It covers all the essential skills. According to Toastmasters itself, Pathways covers 300 competencies that are needed in today's world. I ask my friends in District 104, as I would like to encourage you to ask your members in District 20, how well of a fit are you in terms of the skills that are required in the 21st century? Have you mastered all the skills? Where else are you going to find another program that is going to cover all these competencies and basically give you tailor-made programs that are going to make you look like a pro? And then what about professional development? Let me start with sharing with you that I am a job seeker. Yes, my company shut down somewhere at the end of last year. And without any prior notice, within 2 hours of me finishing my work, me and 200 other colleagues finishing our work, we were told our company is shutting down. And we have been looking for work since then. This puts me in exactly the correct place to invite people to either join Toastmasters or stay on in Toastmasters. All around me, I see a trend because I'm applying for work, remember? And this trend requires people to submit proof of active professional development. I haven't been to an organization that didn't ask for this. And thankfully, what do you think rescued me? Toastmasters. A permanent member in Toastmasters with a year-round enrollment. That is sufficient proof of active, regular professional development that is also very pronounced. Where else would you find something like this? And companies that are downsizing are basically keeping an eye on people that can provide service to organization. And let me share this with you. Service to organization is typically calculated based on your interest in developing yourself. Companies want to keep people that care about their own development because that means they care about the organization's development. Have you thought of this? And then look at the advantages, the acknowledgements. You have certificates and awards and incentives from Toastmasters International as well as your district. What more are you asking for? Opportunities. You have so many roles to play. In your workplace, you do not get to experiment. If you fail, you're fired. In Toastmasters, if you fail, you learn by doing. Where else will you find so many opportunities, from being the president of a club, to being a mentor, to being a volunteer, to being a sponsor, you name it. Contests and other events require you to be a member in good standing from a club in good standing. So for everyone out there who wants to be a part of these, go ahead, fix your status, guys. This is what we say in our district. People looking for exposure and experience and networks. Wow, wow, wow. Did you realize that in a typical club, the CEO of a company can be developing side by side with a secretary? Where else will you find doctors and engineers and nurses and educators and scientists and researchers all on the same platform at your access? DCP points, administrative issues, access to Club Central, administration of the area and division, all of these get affected. And what's going to happen to your success plans? Remember, a stitch in time saves 9. If you don't fix it now, you are going to spend 2-3 weeks trying to sort the same problem that could have taken you 2 or 3 minutes. And then the last part that we talk about is that each of us is a brand ambassador. Yes, we represent Toastmasters International. When we open our mouth to speak, people say he speaks great because he's a Toastmaster. When someone manages an event very professionally, they'll say, oh, she must have learned those skills because she's a Toastmaster. So each of us is a brand ambassador, guys. What are you waiting for? Renew your memberships. Conduct yourselves as an ambassador would. Put on your pins and walk with pride. And this is how our invitation to renew memberships works in District 104. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you something as elementary as this, but powerful in every aspect. I hand back the control to Madam MC, Toastmaster Tabasumali.
Thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to take this, that Wear your pins and walk with pride. Amazing. This is what is in Toastmasters, as you have rightly highlighted, that we just think about public speaking, but when we come here, we know it is much, much more than that. So you have to be a Toastmaster to know that. Thank you so much. And here is your certificate of appreciation. Please accept with a round of applause.
Thank you very much once again, District 20.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure this is a lot motivating for many of our members who are kind of struggling to retain the clubs and have members. So I'm sure this is a lot of take home message for all the 33 of us present over here, 34 including myself, who's present here. So before I dive into the question and answer session, and if you still have questions, please, you can send it to our HOE, Mariam, or to myself on the private chat. And in the meantime, I would like to invite yet another amazing personality, our program quality director, who is the immediate past Division B Director, President of Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club, immediate past President of BAPCO and St. Paul Toastmasters, Secretary of Active Minds, and his purpose in life, I always feel I'm not a better mother when I read this statement, is to lead his kids by a good example of a father to be followed, and that's why he's in Toastmasters. So yes, we all would love to follow your footsteps, and with a round of applause, let's invite our PQD DTM Khalid Abdullah.
Thank you so much, Massive Ceremonies, for the lovely introduction. DTM Khalid Jalal. I wouldn't be able to confuse your name with my name, of course. Club Growth Director of District 20. And all of the other Club Growth Directors, that's why I felt I am in a Club Director room. So that's why I called myself immediate past Club Growth Director as well. So I feel like belongs CGD Sara, CGD Planiraj. Am I saying your name correctly? Yes. And of course, CGD Deepa, DED, District Division E Director, Toastmaster Vishal, and the event chair back again to the CGD, DTM Khalid, and all of the brilliant members of District 20, all of the other districts and Toastmasters around the world. Good morning and blessed Friday to all of you. Thank you so much for the invitation. My apology for being a little bit late. I expected to be honestly early, but then I got stuck with my car service. Okay, you don't want to hear that. But thank you so much for, of course, CGD Khalid for organizing, for being the heart behind all of this, and of course, DED for also being supporting as a division part of that. All of the CGDs said what they had to say, and I felt back when I was also a CGD, I felt you. It's not really easy job being a CGD during such difficult time. And I remember as well the case of 105. I was cheering myself and the other CGDs for of course, CGD Rania by that time, and PQD Rania to be very specific on because they were almost there. They were almost there. Of course, District 20 were a little bit in not as good shape as yours. We were behind by many membership renewals. But among all of those demands that you have to have as a CGD is one thing that I would like to remind you not to forget is yourself. Remember to feed yourself first before feeding everyone else. I remember I had sleepless night. It's not like it reduces. I can see that CGD Khalid right now sleeps after me, so maybe relatively, yes, I'm better off. And I was really hard on myself. I wanted to make a difference. I was looking at the figures even when there is no update, even if it is not 3 o'clock. I know the dashboard gets updated by that time, but I also try to look at it more often. But I keep on reminding myself, of course, that's not about the numbers, it's about the members. So if there's a message as well, another message for you, of course, I'm sure you know it. And being here also is a message that you are sending for everyone, that you are here for, not just for members of your own district, but members all around the world. So God bless you, CGDs. You have big burden on your shoulder. Just remember that you are not alone. We are all here for you, be it in District 20 or be it in beyond District 20. We are all, as Toastmasters, one united family of Toastmasters that back up each other. And for all of District 20 members around, please back up your CGD. He is doing an amazing job. So please, let's stand behind him. Let's try to comfort him. Let's try to remind him that please take care of yourself as well, Brother Khalid. Thank you so much for the amazing event, and over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much for motivating and all the CGDs. We have an experienced Club Growth, immediate past Club Growth director, RPQD, Khalid Abdullah. So anything you can go to him. Thank you so much for motivating all of us here. And also, I would like to acknowledge our PRM, Alan Paul, all the way from London. I mean, he's as early from 5 o'clock, he's up and attending the session. So a round of applause to our district for being here, for encouraging our Division E Director, Vishal, in conducting this segment. So thank you so much. And let's proceed with our question and answer session with our amazing CGD. So if we can be spotlighted. I have lots of questions, so I will just transfer. We will be just able to take a few of them due to time constraint. Let me start with the first question to our, I'll go randomly. I'll not go in any specific sequence, is how to encourage the corporate to start corporate club. Who would like to take it? Who would say how to encourage corporate? Yes, I see Palani Raj. DTM Palani Raj. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
You are spelling, you're pronouncing it very well.
Okay.
For easiness, you can call me Raj.
No, I like to say full names. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you.
How do you encourage the corporate clubs?
See, currently in 2020, this year, I have received a lot of invitation from the corporate clubs, and we'll be starting around another 5 corporate clubs in the coming months. The encouragement is what we do in Farabi, Toastmasters Club, is whoever are there in corporate clubs, members of corporate clubs, we put them in front of the management. In the sense, like, if there is any event, we ask one of the Toastmasters to conduct an event for the company, so they get recognized in front of the management committee. So this is one way which we ask our members to join the Toastmasters. Number 2 is all Toastmasters, the fresh engineers in our company, should be part of a Toastmasters club, in a corporate club or in a community club. So through that, they are being recognized in their appraisals. They are being encouraged in their appraisals, and this gives them a growth for them in terms of soft skill development and all that. So these are the 2 ways which we follow. And of course, as I said during my presentation, we are collaborating with the universities to make sure that we train the students in terms of a soft skill, and also we get whoever are eligible candidates can get an employment in our company. So this is what we are
This
following.
is absolutely very, very interesting that the university, because we are having university clubs as well as corporate clubs. If we as Toastmasters can have a link between the two, I think this is one of the best prospect of encouraging Toastmasters. Thank you so much. Now our next question is, there's our next question. Okay, yes. I would like to ask DTM Deepa. It's what's the future of meetings, online, hybrid, or physical?
I think
out of 3, which will survive most?
Hybrid. Of course, hybrid only. Because it is physical. I mean, we all prefer physical meetings, but we need to give opportunity for all the members who joined from far. And for example, I am the VP membership of Podcasters Toastmasters Club. And initially we decided we'll go for online only, but then now we are thinking of mixing the meetings, because we need to cater the warmth of having that in-person meetings, and at the same time we don't want to lose the members who joined from far because of the interest of that specialty club. So in my opinion, I think we have to we have to support all the online, the members who has joined from far as well. So hybrid will sustain.
So hybrid is the way forward. And that makes all of us go tech savvy, that we need to be equipped with both the technological skill. And I think many of us have upgraded ourselves, that we have become more tech savvy.
Yeah,
And
that is
I think
one
for
of
the
the
corporate,
advantages, no?
Yes, absolutely a big advantage, which we all were shying away. We had no alternative. We had to be tech savvy.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Now, I would like to ask DTM Sara is, as a club growth director, was it challenging last year when the COVID struck and we went online? Or is it more challenging as a club growth director when we are in this transition phase from online to coming to the physical world? Are Toastmasters ready to embrace the physical world? Over to you, DTM Sara.
Thank you
Which
very
is more
much.
challenging?
Thank you very much for the question. Both have been opportunities. When we went fully online, it was a great chance to see how the world can become a smaller place, how we can stick to our purpose in spite of the fact that we aren't stepping out to meet one another. And now that we're returning to normalcy, it's an amazing opportunity to reconnect. Some of us were asking ourselves, do we still have that flair in us? Can we still stand on a stage and face people live? Thankfully, it's very refreshing to know that we still do. We can. So both are great opportunities. Last year was amazing, tremendous in terms of growth, and so is this year. I mean, I'm sure we'll rock it. Why not?
Yes, definitely, inshallah. We will rock it. And Toastmaster have shown a lot of resilience, that we took to the virtual screen really, really well. We did not give up on our meetings. In fact, the world became shrunk. Basically, it became a smaller place. So definitely, we will. Now we have our Toastmaster Srinivas, who has raised his hand. So yes, if we can have a brief question from you, Toastmaster Srinivas, please ask your question.
My question is to DTM Sara. If you were to be the division director, how would you address a CEO of a corporate club to put their members and encourage them to be a part of the movement of Toastmasters clubs? And how would they enhance themselves as professionals?
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much for this question, which amazes me each day, the possibility of being able to reach every single company out there and convince them to introduce Toastmasters into their realm. I believe the answer is very straightforward. Why? Because with the launch of the Pathways program, Toastmasters has shown us that we are able to basically learn anything under the sun. From things as simple as how to stand and face an audience, to how to sell a pen, to how to launch your presence on social media, anything under the sun typically. And with the Pathways' own claim of being able to address 300 competencies that are needed today, I think that's a very powerful statement. And let's not forget, Toastmasters has an international reputation for about a century. I think it's a very easy matter to win over any corporate segment. It doesn't just have to be, in the circles of education. And then because of COVID and related issues, the economic challenges, especially within the Middle East, more and more companies are looking for something that is long-term and yet affordable. So, and also let's not forget, Toastmasters shows visible results. A number of developmental programs out there are basically testimonials on paper. I can complete a 2-month-long course and you will not notice any change in my mannerism, in my physical ability to do something. but I will have a very long list of, paper testimonials to provide proof. Toastmasters is different. 2 months after enrollment, you will find that at the very least, I'm able to look people in the eye when I talk to them. Little things like these cannot go unregistered. And I'll say something to you firsthand. I have always had an affinity for stage. I was little and I was already on stage, and I thought I was a star. 5 years into Toastmasters, a colleague informed me, Sarah, you're very different now. This is not the Sarah that I remember when we first met. That speaks for itself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have this mantra is like in Toastmasters, it is find your voice. I feel that for most of us, it is we have found ourselves in Toastmasters. Once you are off the stage fear, you can be yourself, and that is your authenticity. That's great. There is another question which is sent. This is directed to DTM Deepa, which is what is the follow-up system for renewals as CGD? Because you see many of the members are not renewing now. So how do you encourage members to renew their membership? DTM Deepa?
We have in our district, we have introduced many incentives for renewing on time or before time. So we were encouraging our club leaders initially, and then we started a campaign mentioning that I have renewed with the District 105. Have you? So that was creating kind of proud or that pride of becoming a Toastmasters, and so campaign, so many different channels are there. That's what I want to mention over here. First of all, it is making sure that the club officers, especially VPMs and the treasurers, are doing their job. By doing their job, they are getting, they are able to, they are gaining that confidence to, because it's a challenging time. Of course, it is a challenging time, and if they are able to meet that 25 member renewal in their club, and we were appreciating, acknowledging, and there is an incentive award from district also. And then we were creating that pride in each and every member that I am a Toastmaster, I have renewed. So these two things worked for us, and we are continuing with the same thing more and more. That is what we have tried. I think this worked for us. I hope the same will work for you as well.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I think we all have to be proud to be Toastmasters. And as you had, where you were acknowledging all the members, even we had a CGT Khalid who had this small videos released about, we have renewed, have you renewed your membership? So that was motivating. And today, I think Canva with such friendly apps, you can release a lot of posters, which really encourage when people see their pictures as that, okay, we have renewed. Any small award or any achievement is acknowledged. I think that's motivating. So thank you so much, DTM Deepa. And we have our CGD from District 20 who's going to ask some very difficult question to our reigning CGDs. Yes, DTM Khalid Jalal. Let's hear the most difficult question from you. Over
Thank
to
you very much. Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. I'm not here to ask difficult question. I'm here to request if we can add our HR speakers as well, because there are some questions I'm sure it will relate it to the membership and how it can help. So maybe they can also be part of this panel discussion with your permission. Number two, there was a question about the corporate clubs approach, how we can approach them. From my experience, I think we can approach them from two ways or two sources. Number one is actually the HR department. If you go to the HR department and showcase how Toastmaster can help and develop the team, I'm sure they will be interested and they take it to the next level. And the second level is actually taking the risk of reaching to the top in the organization and telling him what the benefits are. And if you're lucky, you will get the club charter shortly. Otherwise, you need to find another corporate club. That's how it works. Number three, I have a question from CGD DTM Deepa. She mentioned, if I heard you correctly, 1,000 new members. That's what you say, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I want to know the 20% of that secret. So at least we can increase 20% of 1,000 new members in our districts.
I think we attribute a lot to our public relations, VPPRs and VP memberships who did their different campaigns at club levels. More than district levels, I think it is at the club level, they managed to bring more members. One club had only 6 members when the new team started, but they added 15 members in the month of July. I think we have to ask them. But if I had to share the secret, they all worked very hard in communicating the positives of Toastmasters in their wherever they are working, especially the members, wherever they were working, they shared the benefits, as the DTM Sarah just mentioned, the change in ourselves, the change in all our members. If everybody is ready to acknowledge, yeah, because of Toastmasters there is a change in me and change in you, that recognition will bring more members, because we are not actually selling something which is not real. We are actually selling the positives of Toastmasters. And if I'm attending a training, if I'm trying to upskill by paying a lot, by attending 5 days of training or 2 weeks, 2 months, then actually, in my opinion, the trainer is benefiting a lot with my money. He or she is speaking, she is benefiting. But in Toastmasters, actual members with less cost, we are benefiting. All the members are benefiting. This has to be communicated through awareness sessions, through different campaigns to the members, and for sure we will have members, because this is an opportunity. This is a big opportunity in small cost to upskill all the non-Toastmasters by joining Toastmasters. This is the only secret. We, all the club leaders, area leaders, division leaders, now as our distinguished Toastmaster Vishal and you yourself, DTM Khalid, what you are doing an extra thing. So everybody, if they are ready to do that extra, then people will realize the value. And we are also gaining something, the experience of managing a big event.
Yes,
So, yeah,
absolutely.
and one request
Thank you
over
so much.
here for all the HR people, please add that one thing in your screening criteria, that if you are a Toastmaster, if you are a Toastmaster officer, if a member is a Toastmaster or if an applicant is a Toastmaster officer, you will add some value in your recruit. Please do that, and please spread that awareness. That will benefit the Toastmasters movement across the world, not only in District 20, but in our district as well, and across the world. So please do that in HR summits. If it's a Toastmaster, that is a guaranteed tick for public speaking or leadership skills or commitment. Please do that.
Yes, we have to be proud of being a Toastmaster. And as Floyd Almeida said, that value for value. So what we can show the value of Toastmasters to the value to the outside world. And with that, just last question I would ask to Floyd Almeida is the link. We need a bridge between the outside world and the Toastmasters, and that is the best way forward. So tell us about that bridge. How can we show it? The last question to Floyd.
Thank you. In fact, I can share what we did when I was with Alfutem, although this is back to around 15 odd years. We started with Speechcraft, and we positioned it as necessary for the career progression of high potentials. Because if you have these high potential people, the basic skill they need is to think and communicate with clarity and confidence. So we started that. And with that, we worked with the training department to say, listen, this is in the interests of the organization. You have great high potentials. You need to retain them. People are retained when they grow within the organization. And this is a critical element where you can add. So that was one. Also for employees who were related, in the top 20%. So they got their appraisals, they got the biggest bonus. One of the bonuses that we included was you get free Speechcraft. So, when people see that Toastmasters is adding value to them both as professionals and as persons, then they're going to, invest in it. Invest in it not just as learning the skill, but then going forward and becoming members. And then within the organization, they become your best brand ambassadors by word of mouth. So that's what I would recommend. A free Speechcraft through the training department on presentation skills or platform skills, and then see how it works. but don't give it to everybody. Keep it selective, make it aspirational. Otherwise it loses its value. If you say that everybody can come, like we say in India, Janta, it'll lose its value. You have to.
If I may,
Yeah.
if I may just add to Floyd, what Floyd is saying, we are seeing it manifested in WMC, and probably this would work as a role model. We started our first speechcraft by Dr. Babu contacting American Mission Management and their HR and training officer in particular. We started with the first batch of 20 odd heads of departments. We conducted a speechcraft. It caught on so well that I'm proud to say that WMC just finished last Monday its 6th session of speechcraft for American Mission Hospital. So what the CEO has said is that every service line head has to go through speechcraft from various departments. So from one speechcraft, we have progressed, and I think that's a way forward for everyone to approach HR, see show them the value for money that you're getting out of it, and continue with speechcraft till they are ready to form their own club and move on. So it's just a practical manifestation of what Floyd was saying.
Absolutely. I think Speechcraft is one of the best programs I have seen Toastmasters offers. It has basically everything, all the elements of a good public speaker. So yes, I think, yes, we need to encourage more and more Speechcraft. And that brings me to the question, why is Floyd Almeida not a Toastmaster Floyd Almeida? We need to see you as a Toastmaster Floyd Almeida after this.
I am a Toastmaster. I've completed the old 10 sessions, which used to be called CTM. Now busy with other things, but yes, having attended this, it does inspire me, excite me to get back in the groove.
Absolutely. And it's going to be value for value because we are going to learn so much, and many people are going to benefit from your knowledge. So wanting to see you as once again TM and a DTM very, very soon. So I think we are very much short of time, but still there is one person, I just got it in the message, who's been right from session 1, would like to ask a question. So that last question will take from Kirti Raj, our Garud, who's all the way from India. So let's have a quick question from him. And do you have any specific panelists to answer, or we'll keep it open? Come on, Kirti Raj, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tabassum. I hope you all are gleeful in this moment right now. I am, because I get this chance to express my queries in front of this august audience. Dear panelists, this is an open question from my side. My name is Toastmaster Kirti Raj Garud, and I'm a part of District 98 and District 41, part of both global online clubs, and was a former part of a corporate club. My query is, in terms of corporate clubs, there is always that particular problem where there is a hierarchy in which the club officers or the members are present, say band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, with regards to their hierarchy in their corporate office. And then at times, the newer members face that difficulty in adjusting to the seniority, because in Toastmasters, all are equal, be it executive committee members who are serving the club or be it any normal member. How do you tackle this kind of a situation for clubs where we want to have a family kind of an environment, though because of that hierarchy related issues, they face some kind of problems with regards to adjusting to the core of Toastmasters? Thank you.
That's a very, very interesting question to the corporate, is when you have the CEO and a normal employee coming in and each caliber stands out, or even a best speaker, maybe the CEO doesn't get it. So who would like to take this very, very challenging question? Any of the panelists?
I'll briefly attempt to answer this.
Briefly, yes, if you can give a short answer.
Toastmaster Kirti Raj, first and foremost, I would like you not to be very surprised by the fact that there exists hierarchy where you are. Remember, we're from closed societies that are known to have a system of hierarchy, wherein somebody takes on the role of a parent and basically fends for the tribe. So I would like you first and foremost not to take this, in a negative sense. On the other hand, what you can do is start a movement wherein you start to highlight that the member comes first. So let there be the hierarchy, but let there be an understanding that all the leaders are servant leaders who basically serve the member. This can kind of introduce a balance in your club, wherein members get more respect in spite of the fact that there are parents and grandparents to contend with. I hope this answered your question.
Thank you so much. And since we are well running out of time, so a big round of applause to our wonderful panelists from the HR and the CGD for this amazing, brilliant session. And yes, we have learned quite a bit today. So now, behind the scene, there were these amazing role players who executed this entire session. So for their felicitation, I would once again like to invite our CGD Khalid Jalal to acknowledge the role players. CGD Khalid Jalal, over to you. And before I hand over the podium, I would just like to say is like, alone we can do so little and together we can do so much by Helen Keller. And that is what today in this virtual world we have learned so much. So thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much to DTM Tabassum Ali. Usually we say don't preach what we don't do. In Toastmaster, we preach, but we also do what we preach. And we say do the good thing. And one of the good thing is work as a team. And when we work as a team, that's why we see a lot of success. And this particular event is an example of the great team and the success as a result. So let me acknowledge and thank all who participated in this event, in the preparation and the background. Application, Toastmaster Mariam Bungal, thank you very much for working so late yesterday after a lot of communication. Thank you very much. Moderator, Toastmaster Dinesh was very active, involved this morning. Moderator, Toastmaster Mohammed Faraheen, one of the active members. One and only it brings calm whenever she goes. The handsome Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Tawfiq Qadir. Got 2 cups of coffee in the morning to give energy. Thank you very much. Our head of registration, thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. Organizing the registration.
DTM Khalid, your voice is going very slow, please.
Our head of PR, thank you very much. I think that's because of the music background. Our branding guideline head, thank you for the guidance for us to follow the brand guidelines. Otherwise, our head of marketing, distinguished Marcel and Paul, will have a lot of trouble. Thank you very much, DTM and Paul, to be part of the head of marketing and supporting us. Marketing team, distinguished Master Professor Jamil on the background, been doing a lot of work in terms of marketing, social media. Marketing team, Toastmaster Tawfiq Qadir, part of the CGT and PR team. Thank you very much. Marketing team member, Toastmaster Hisham Riyad, thank you very much for supporting us. And the main person and also supporting the marketing, Toastmaster Vishal Agrawal, Division Director, and our Chief Sergeant Arms, Toastmaster Cinemas, thank you very much. Sergeant Arms team, a very quiet person, Toastmaster Jamaluddin Sheikh. Our timer, Toastmaster Jamana, thank you very much for helping us manage our time today. Our second timer, Toastmaster Bala Murugan, thank you very much for supporting us, managing our time today. You did a great job, both of you as timers and all the role players. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all your help and support. Thank you very much. Back to you, MC. So we'll have a group photograph. And
okay, I'm sorry. I thought I'm done with my session. Okay, someone just highlighted me. Yeah, can we just have a group picture? All of you, if you can put your videos on. So let's have a group picture, capture this amazing moment.
Okay.
And tell me before spotlighting.
Can we invite our
laugh out loud, should we?
Yes,
Okay,
smile.
yeah. All right, I'm clicking in. 1, 2, and 3. Excellent.
Have one more.
Yeah, let's have
and
one.
if you're okay, let's, because I'm laugh out loud president, have a crazy one. Come on, let's have a crazy one.
Mastani.
1, yes, clicking 1, 2, and 3.
Sign of victory, yes.
That's great.
Good Friday.
Thank you for the vote of session. And yes, it was an amazing time. And the man behind the scene, let's have the final remarks from you, our Division E Director, Toastmaster Vishal. And let me tell you, no event is possible without this man who's silently behind the scene and his one power-packed talent house. Toastmaster Vishal, over to you. Vishal Edward Khan, over to you.
Thank you very much, TTM Tabassum Ali, for this wonderful job. Excellent. And thank you so much for that energy that you're always bringing in. And both the MCs have done a fantastic job. So first, I would like to thank our District 20 leaders for awakening this passion of desire and support as a leader to organize this event. Your constant encouragement has helped us in the best way possible. Thank you, DTM Alifia, DTM Khalid Abdullah, DTM Khalid Jalal, DTM Alan Paul. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the presenters for the valuable and insightful presentation. Thank you, DTM Rekha Uttam, DTM Lulwa, Floyd Almeida, DTM Palani Raj, DTM Deepa Surendran, and DTM Sara Ansari. I would like to thank the team of our area directors, the entire team of role players, well-wishers for their commitment, support, and stewardship. With profound love and reverence, I would like to thank our Head of Education, Area 17 Director, Toastmaster Mariam, for her solid support and timely monitoring in every aspect of this event. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the participants of this event for your cooperation and support. I would like to thank you for your every minute-to-minute support for encouraging us in organizing this event. It is your ability to support which has made this day a memorable one. And with that, I would like to adjourn the meeting. Over to you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vishal, for all the arrangement you have done and put all the CGDs and all the HR professionals together and sharing a huge knowledge. And everyone, I'm sure, must have taken a lot with them and to implement in the clubs or in the real life. Thank you very much.
And I would like to add one more thing over here is this is the first time amazingly I've seen the keynote speaker and the panelists stay from the beginning till the end. Generally, you see, they'll just come and they'll go away with the